Gianakis. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
You're the recent president. Less than a year, isn't it?
One year and a couple of weeks, 50 weeks if anybody's counting.
And you told me, that's important, you're one of the first recipients of a scholarship back when we created HHF.
26, 27 years ago. So it's wonderful when things go full circle, when we're able to both receive but give back. And I think that's the most important thing that we do here. So I've been involved since 2017. I was the committee chair for major projects for many years and am now the president. But I think for all of us, this is a community or foundation that is not focused on any other mandate than how we promote El Ninismos and how we promote our culture and our children and the future of Greeks here in the diaspora. And that's an incredibly powerful message as we go through generations. I mean, it's amazing when you're able to sell out a 1,000+ seat venue in less than 2 weeks. We've never done that before. We're also tonight announcing our largest ever major project, Odyssey Greece, which is a birthright trip now that we're going to endow so that we can really look forward to how we create the next generation of leaders, how we can ensure the HHF has 30 more years, 60 more years, 90 more years of longevity. You know, every year you wonder if you can have greater people to reward and to celebrate, and every year it just becomes, we just raise the bar, and it just shows you how much of an impact Greek Canadians have in our local community, in our national community, and how much there really is to celebrate as we look to bring us all together.
Yes, and you have a very effective 50-50 raffle and a very rich auction with donated stuff. That should raise some money. What do you hope to raise tonight?
I think this evening we will be somewhere on the order of $500,000 to $700,000 raised, which will be, I think, our largest and most successful gala ever. It's always wonderful where we're now looking at do we have to get a larger space, a larger venue, how we start to look at more events throughout the year as well, as our members want to actually integrate with each other and spend more time together. So the notion of this foundation actually creating a sense of community, bringing Greeks together, and creating really a sense of belonging is a powerful, powerful message. So our executive, our members, but each of our committee members, you know, we have one paid managing director who's carries almost Atlas. He is Atlas carrying the world on his shoulder, but everybody else is a volunteer. Everyone else, you know, takes time out of their day, away from their families, to invest back in El Ninismos, in this community, and a realization that this is bigger than them.
John, congratulations. All the best to you, and thank you for your contribution.
No, listen, thank you. You're the founder. You're the reason we're here tonight. So, you know, it is really on your shoulders that we stand, and it's on your shoulders that, and hopefully mine, that 30 years from now, you know, we can have someone else standing here saying the exact same words.
That's why we're so proud of people like you. Congratulations. They're the co-chairs of today's event. What an event already.
It's starting off pretty good. No rain today. We're happy about that. We're so happy that everybody's here to join us today for our annual gala. Thank you everybody for coming and for your support. It means a lot to the organization.
almost 1,000 people, sold out over 2 months before the gala started. So we sold out in early April. Record attendance, we had a waiting list. We're so grateful for the community coming out to support the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, and we look forward to an incredible night tonight.
Your president tells me you expect to raise over $500,000.
No, we're over $700,000 so far raised. So Odyssey Greece is a scholarship that we're launching tonight for the first time. It is a university trip back to Greece, Thessaloniki and Athens. 2 weeks where university students from Canada, Greek heritage, get to experience Greece with friends and enjoy it in a different way rather than a vacation alone. They see museums, they get some education, and the best part is they do it with other Greek kids from Canada, so the heritage continues and grows and expands the network of the friends.
We want everybody to have a good time. You know, just to add on what George said there, when we sat down and decided we're going to co-chair this year, we were thinking of the next generation, and in fact, generations beyond that as well, to leave them something as the scholarship and some other initiatives. But it's because the people here that supported us that we're able to fund these initiatives for the next generation. So thank you, and we want everybody to have a great time tonight.
Well,
thank you to you.
For everything you do. Thank you.
Φίλοι της GrecaTV, τι να πω για τον Πίτερ τον Ηλιόπουλο. Είναι ένας άνθρωπος ο οποίος είναι γνωστότατος στην παροικία, από τους πιο επιτυχημένους επιχειρηματίες που έχουμε, και πάντοτε είναι ο host που γίνεται το πιο ωραίο event, το HHF Gala. Πώς αισθάνεσαι?
Well, I feel amazing, and this is a gala that I've been working very hard actually for quite a few years to bring it to this level, you know, and I'm very pleased, and I'm very pleased that George and Jim this year, they took over and they're chairing the event, and it's going to be amazing. So the tradition continues.
Δεν είμαστε μόνο υπερήφανοι που μας αντιπροσωπεύει στο Queen's Park, αλλά είναι και πρώην πρόεδρος εδώ στο Hellenic Heritage Foundation. How do you feel every time you come to this event?
I feel very honored to have been part of this organization. Regrettably, I was only able to stay as president and chair for 1 year, because afterwards I stepped down in order to run for political office. But I'm so proud of our community. Our community is doing all of the right things and raising funds to really help our heritage, our culture, and our education. We can't ask for anything more.
And of course, you've been a pioneer in making sure that that legislation exists at the provincial government, and you host every year this wonderful event preserving Hellenic Heritage Month.
It's true. The month of March in Ontario is known as Hellenic Heritage Month, and I have to say that we are the only jurisdiction in the world to recognize Hellenic Heritage Month as a piece of legislation in law, and I'm very proud of that.
And you're the vice president of the interparliamentary group, the international group of elected officials of Greek descent. You are the vice president now, aren't you?
I'm the first vice president.
The first vice president.
The second vice president is from Australia. Our president is from the U.S. And we have incredible relations. Senator Raftakis, who you And what we have going on now is a great relationship, not just with the Greek Parliament, but also the Greek government. And so they get to understand how influential parliamentarians of Greek descent can be in helping them worldwide.
Hi everyone, my name is Brad Bradford. I'm running to be the next mayor in the city of Toronto, and I want to build a city that we can be proud of. I'm focused on 3 C's: crime, congestion, and the cost of living. I want Toronto to be the best city in the world, to raise your family, to build a business, and unlock our potential. It's amazing. I mean, we've got great weather. Everyone looks fabulous, and we're out here celebrating the Greek culture. I represent Beaches East York, you know, just east of Greektown proper on the Danforth, but lots of Greek friends in Parkview Hills and all across the east end of Toronto. And you've been here for decades. You've been shopkeepers, you've been butchers, you've built your businesses, you've been entrepreneurs, and you've really anchored the east end of the city and realized the dream that so many people came to Toronto to be a part of. The Greek community shows its leadership, its strength, and they built a legacy in Toronto that leaves it better for future generations. So I'm very proud to work with the Greek community. I love them, and of course I'm happy to be supporting the event tonight and having fun with all my friends. First of all, the weather is always wonderful. The gods clear the sky for us every year, and again, they're doing it. And we get together with our community here, and we celebrate our Greek culture. What could be better?
Well, it's been a good organization, and I'm very proud to be part of. And be here every year.
We raise $500,000, which goes to very important activities that we have. But I just want to say one other thing I think is most important about this event. It's not about the two of us. It's not about you. It's look in the room and how the young people that are attending this event. That's the next generation, and they're such proud young Greeks. It makes me so proud. For my children as well. Yeah. And yours.
And mine, yeah.
Όταν ο ελληνισμός δημιουργεί και μαζεύεται για ορισμένα πράγματα που είναι αξίας και για τον πολιτισμό μας και για να περνάμε καλά, πάντα χαίρομαι. Αν αυτός είναι ο στόχος, δεν υπάρχει καλύτερο. Γιατί ο καθένας μακάρι να υπάρχει ενάλλαξη και να ανακατεύουν πολλοί ανθρώποι, γιατί έτσι γίνονται και πολλές ιδέες και πολλά πράγματα. Και ιδιαίτερα ένας που είναι σε ορισμένα πράγματα, κοινότητες, ομοσπονδία, Hellenic Heritage, Hellenic Initiative, ελληνικό γυροκομείο, συλλόγοι, είναι καλό να βλέπουν τις επόμενες γενιές. Μην κρατάνε την καρέκλα πολλά χρόνια.
Είστε καλά. Απόψε είναι μια υπέροχη βραδιά, γιατί οπωσδήποτε ο οργανισμός αυτός, το HHF, έχει προσφέρει τόσα πολλά στην παροικία, στην παιδεία, στις πανεπιστημιακές σχολές, να προωθείται η ελληνική γλώσσα, ο πολιτισμός μας. Οπότε απόψε είναι μια επιπλέον βραδιά υπέροχη, πολλοί κόσμος και ευχόμαστε ο οργανισμός αυτός πάντα να στηρίζει την ελληνική παροικία στον Καναδά. Φυσικά, η συμπάρικη μας και ιδιαίτερα η νέα γενιά νομίζω ότι στηρίζει ό,τι έκανε η προηγούμενη γενιά, ό,τι έκαναν οι γονείς τους, οι παππούδες τους και νομίζω αυτή την συνήθεια, τα είδη και τα έθιμα θέλουν να τα προωθήσουν και να τα προχωρήσουν στα παιδιά τους και στα εγγόνια τους. Είναι υπέροχα να βλέπεις νέους ανθρώπους να τιμούν τα είδη και τα έθιμά μας.
It's a great event this evening. I want to congratulate all the honorees. I think it's important to bring the Greek community together and showcase what Greeks have done here in Canada and abroad. So it's very, very important. Congratulations to the organizing committee of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, and we're waiting for a really good evening tonight.
thank you for doing this. Thank you for coming out. The most important thing that we've been able to accomplish as a Greek community is the establishment of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation as an institution. And it's now being run by the second generation. So that's success as far as I'm concerned.
First of all, I can't think of a better person to receive this award. I am honored to be joining the Hellenic Initiative. One of the reasons is because of John and Alexander Georgiadis and the many other members, especially the younger people that I have so much respect for. But I think there are two amazing organizations here in Canada. One is the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, the other one is the Hellenic Initiative. And I think that they do amazing work. I think there are two organizations that are offering the Greek diaspora and Greece as well as much as they can. So I am 100% supporting both of the organizations, and I'm happy to join the board of directors of the Hellenic Initiative. Και σε ευχαριστούμε εσένα, Βασίλη, για όλη τη δουλειά που κάνεις αφιλοκερδώς για να προωθήσεις τον ελληνισμό, την ελληνική γλώσσα, την ελληνική μουσική. Ακούω το ραδιόφωνο σου. Amazing. Congratulations.
This is an organization that retains the heritage and the culture of the Greek culture in our people and our community. It's a fantastic organization. It's wonderful to be a part of it. Our way is to hold the culture, continue living the way our parents have taught us to, and raise our children the same way.
Και αυτή η εκδήλωση είναι η μεγαλύτερη εκδήλωση που μαζεύονται στο Τορόντο όλη η ομογένεια. Δεν θα μπορούσαμε να λείπουμε κι εμείς, γιατί είμαστε ένα μέρος αυτής της ομογένειας. Δεν υπάρχει περίπτωση να μην έρθω κάθε χρόνο, το περιμένω πώς και πώς. Και πέρα από την εκδήλωση είναι και ένα τεράστιο έργο που επιτελεί το Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Είναι ένα έργο το οποίο αξίζει κανείς να στηρίζει και με τις πράξεις του και με τις δωρεές που μπορεί να κάνει σε αυτόν τον οργανισμό.
I'm very happy, very proud to be part of this organization. People ask me how involved I am. I go, I've now made this the last 2 years integral part of my wife, my family, and my kids' life. And it's the best thing that I've done because my kids now get to see the model Greeks that we want to be, that we want to aspire to be. And not only do I get to share with good friends and family, my kids γνωρίζουν άλλα παιδιά from other καλές οικογένειες, and those people are meeting their kids with others. And that's why we're here. Because if we want to preserve our heritage, our culture, our language, we have to do it to our kids. And I'm very proud to see lots of youth, a lot of energy because they have a lot of dinami. And they're giving us dinami to do more. Because we are raising the torch and it's on them to raise it higher. And we are here to support them to build something here because we have something that's really strong. Jim and George, these guys have been working for the last 12 months to bring all this together. We sold out in February. That's never happened before. George and Jim, hard-working guys, but good people. And look what we have here. It's very, very good.
for doing such a wonderful job and bringing us together and celebrating and having fun. Yes.
You're right. I've been a member of HHF for many years and a Canadian president for 4 years. And our organization contributes to various causes locally and internationally. But the HHF, the gala here tonight, is not only one of the premier events of the Greek organization, the Greek community of Toronto, but I think in any community in the Toronto area. It brings together so many other organizations into one event, so we raise some money and we can give back to the community, to those who are less fortunate than us. So it's always great to be here. I want to congratulate George, the board of directors, the HHF president. They do a marvelous job every year. This event is so important because there are a lot of people in this community that require help. And if we don't get off our butts and attend these kinds of events and contribute, it's not good for the community at whole.
Και φροντίζουμε τη νέα γενιά ιδιαιτέρως, γιατί θα είναι οι αυριανοί αχέπαν, ντότες, θυγατέρες της Πινελόπης, και θα είναι και οι αυριανοί Έλληνες που θα προωθήσουν τα ελληνικά ιδεώδη, τα οποία προσπαθούμε πάντα να τα υπερασπιζόμαστε και να τα προωθούμε.
Που έκανα ήταν Ελλάδα έτος 0 και Κύπρος τον χειμώνα. Μερικά από τα αρχεία μετά το παγκόσμιο, το δεύτερο, και την Κύπρο, τα αρχεία ήταν από την Αμερική, την Αγγλία ή από τη Ρουσία. Οι Έλληνες δεν είχαν βιβλία, δεν είχαν movie studios και δεν είχαν να φάνε. So a lot of that history ξεχάστηκε και δεν ξέρανε η θυσία για τους Έλληνες, the sacrifice of World War II especially. Also, the 74 invasion of Turkey, of Cyprus, is a problem for me. 51 years now. But everywhere else, the world has run everywhere else to put out fires. Cyprus was forgotten, and there's a lot of work to be done on that. I'm happy Greece is making an economic resurgence, but some of the old stories and the modern Greek history of the last century has to be brought up to be shared. Mr. Fazzi, my dear friend, thank you. I want to thank GrecaTV and this man, Bill Fatsis. This is a legendary dedication, 50 years plus to the community, and I want to thank you for this, even for this. Καλή διασκέδαση. Ζήτω η Ελλάδα.
But anyway, I'm interested in you, the new generation of Greeks. Why is this event important for you? Let me start with you.
As second-generation Greeks, we feel that it's important to keep the culture alive by coming to events and supporting the community. Of course I do. It's important to maintain traditions and keep in contact with people that come from similar places that we do.
Do you aspire to be the next leadership of this organization?
Yeah, I would love to. But yeah, I love this event. You get to meet people of all ages, especially our age. Especially recently, there's been a lot of people of the younger generation coming to this event, so it's great to meet other Greeks our age. And yeah, it's great to meet them and be more Greek and learn about more of our culture and just be more involved in that.
How about you, Mr. Papadakos? You're going to be a leader in one of these organizations as well.
It's really nice to connect with other Greek people. It's really part of our heritage, be around other Greek people and have fun and party with each other.
Για το ελληνισμό, για την νεολαία, για τους ηλικιωμένους, σαν τη μάνα μου, τέτοια events είναι υποχρεωτικό να κάνουμε celebrate το ελληνισμό που ήρθαμε στο Καναδά και έχουμε όλοι έχουμε βρει τη δουλειά μας από new generation και είναι ωραία που αυτό το event μας φέρνει πίσω, να μην ξεχνάμε το culture μας και είναι για good cause. Είναι για very good cause.
My father always told me that it was more important to be significant than successful. And having said that, is these events are about significance. Is that we bring the Greek culture together. We bring our people together. We do these events, and that's why I do it for the church, and that's why I do it for this event. So our community supports this event, as you probably already know. We're all about bringing our communities and celebrating ourselves, celebrating our culture, and making having a good time while we're at it.
and welcome your master of ceremonies this evening. Please, for the next warm round of applause, help me welcome Maria Papadakis.
Can you hear me? Hello, kalispera σας. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, and welcome to the 2026 Hellenic Heritage Foundation Gala. This is amazing. I hope you've all had a chance to enjoy the cocktail hours, the hors d'oeuvres, and are ready for a wonderful evening ahead. And to get right into it, we have so much in store for you this evening. But as of right now, I'd like to welcome His Grace Bishop Athinagoras to say grace. Please rise if you're able.
I would like, before I start the prayer, to convey His Eminence's blessing and greetings to all of you, especially the organizing committee. George, thank you so much for the invitation. It's an amazing, lovely night. Today, unlike yesterday, Δόξα Πατρί και Υιό και Αγίου Πνεύματι και νύχια ή και στους αιώνας των αιώνων. Αμήν. Κύριε Λέησον, Κύριε Λέησον, Κύριε Λέησον. Lord Jesus Christ, bless the food and the drink we're about to receive, for you are holy now and ever to the ages of ages. Αμήν. Έχω τη φήμη ότι είμαι πάντα πολύ σύντομος, right? So θα είμαι πολύ σύντομος. Μόνο αυτό να κρατήσουμε. Οι Έλληνες πρέπει να είμαστε ενωμένοι και να προχωρούμε μαζί. Greeks, Greek Canadians, we need to stay together and go forward, all together, none left behind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. I can't believe that we are already here. It feels like it was just yesterday that the gala happened last year. And for those who don't know who I am, I'm Maria Papadakis, and I am beyond honored to be back here as your Master of Ceremonies for yet another incredible year. For those who don't know who I am, by day, I'm a television host on Sportsnet, and I'm currently running on pure adrenaline because I take off to work with the FIFA World Cup as of tomorrow. So I'm very, very But as fun as the global stage can be, tonight my absolute favorite title is simply being a Greek Canadian woman. For me, our culture isn't just something we celebrate on holidays. It is the very foundation of who I am. It's a compass that guides how we love, how we show up for one another, and how we live with that beautiful, fierce concept of philotimo. Growing up, my parents made sure we got the full authentic experience, you know. We're talking Greek dance, summers in the Chorio, going to every touristic site that you could possibly imagine, and of course, the rite of passage, which is Greek school on Saturday mornings, all right? And looking out into this room right now, I see people that I haven't seen since we were dragging our feet going into that Greek school on Saturday mornings. And look at us now. We're all grown up. Everyone's talking about what they're doing for a living. And thankfully, none of us are being tested on verbs and tonus, and I am very happy about that. The true magic of tonight is that I can already see that all the mini reunions that are happening at every table. This room is a living, breathing map of our history in Toronto. We have generations of friends and family who have migrated here together, built lives side by side, or connected over the fact that their families come from neighboring Chorios or from which region makes the better pasticcio. In my professional career, I've had the privilege of hosting many, many events, but none feel as uniquely special or hit as close to home as this one tonight. Whether this is your very first time attending the HHF Gala, or you haven't missed a single one, welcome. Tonight, let's celebrate where we came from, let's make a difference for our future, and let's continue to build this beautiful culture and community right here in Toronto. Now tonight, there is something for everyone. If you haven't had a chance to take a look, well, the online auction and 50-50 raffle draw are taking place until midnight tonight. Auction items programs and descriptions are located on the posters outside in the lobby, as well as printed programs at your tables. You can bid right on your phone when you scan the QR code on each poster. Super easy, super modern. It's 2026, we scan everything. Prizes this year include some amazing personnel travel experiences, and so be sure to check them out. We have one special live auction that's happening later tonight, which we'll let you all know very, very soon. The 50-50 raffle draw proceeds will be used to sponsor student study abroad scholarships, Greek language school textbook grants, and teacher training, Greek theater, dance, music productions, public lectures, and other community programs that rely heavily on all of our support here tonight. Lots of great entertainment coming up as well tonight. We have the Angelo Tsaroukas in the building. Let's make some noise for him. He's going to be bringing all the laughs very shortly. And we have our featured entertainers, Irini Papadopoulou, Christos Venidiatis, and DJ Kolias. They're in the building. Let's make some noise. They can hear how excited we are for them tonight. Along with our amazing lineup of entertainers, we also are honored to have some very special dignitaries and special guests here in the building tonight. I'd like to welcome them all, so please hold your applause until the end. So, we'd like to welcome His Grace Bishop Athinagoras, the Consul General of Greece in Toronto, Mr. Ioannis Chazanonakis, and the Cultural Advisor, Dr. Marilena Griva, Trade Minister at the Consulate General of Greece, Emmanuel Markianos, Member of Provincial Parliament, Effie Triandafilopoulos, City Councillor and City of Toronto Mayoral Candidate, Brad Bradford, President of the Greek Community of Toronto, Betty Skoutakis, President of the Hellenic Home for the Aged, John Fanaras, Co-President of the Hellenic Initiative of Canada, Alexander Georgiadis, President of Hellenic Canadian Medical Association, Dr. Vasilia Vatsis, President of the Hellenic Canadian Academic Association, Tina Martiminakis, President of the Hellenic Community of Europe Region, Helen Barabalias, Executive Director of the National Hellenic Society, Artemopoulos, our partners at the University of Toronto, our partners at York University, esteemed members of the media, sponsors, donors, and friends. And to top it all off, we could not do this without the HHF community tonight. George Geroglidis, so let's please give a round of applause for every single person who has put this event on, who is here tonight, and all of you, of course. We also have two amazing co-chairs, George Elenides and Jim Blackhos. Let's please welcome them to the stage to say a few words.
Let's go, Christian!
Good evening, everyone. Seeing as tonight is the Hellenic Heritage Foundation Gala, I thought it would be appropriate to say a couple words in Greek, or at least try to, so bear with me. Καλησπέρα και καλώς ήρθατε στο 2026 μπλε και άσπρο Gala του Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Σας ευχαριστούμε που μας τιμάτε με την παρουσία σας απόψε για τη στήριξη σας προς το HHF και τα έργα του. Σας ευχόμαστε να περάσετε μια πραγματική όμορφη και αξέχαστη βραδιά. Απόψε θα απολαύσουμε όλοι μαζί τέλειο φαγητό, ελληνική μουσική και μια υπέροχη βραδιά. Ελπίζουμε να χαρείτε τη βραδιά και να χορέψετε μαζί μας ως τα ξημερώματα. Πάλι καλώς ήρθατε και καλή διασκέδαση. Good evening, gave a lawyer a mic. Good evening, and welcome to the 2026 annual Hellenic Heritage Foundation Blue and White Gala. My name is George Elenides, beside me is Jim Blackhos, and together we are honored to serve as directors of the HHF and co-chairs of this year's gala. We'd like to thank all of you for joining us this evening and for your continued support of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Also, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank our sponsors whose support and partnership helped ensure the success of this year's gala. Tonight is a celebration of community, culture, and philanthropy. We have wonderful food, music, and entertainment prepared for you, and we hope you enjoy this evening with family and friends, make a couple of new connections, and join us in dancing the night away. It is because of your generosity, support, and enthusiasm that we can proudly announce that this year's gala sold out in record time, almost 2 months in advance. has already raised over $700,000 in support of upcoming HHF initiatives. And while tonight is a wonderful evening out, it is much more than that. The Blue and White Gala is the signature event of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation for the year. And it's our largest annual fundraiser, one that directly supports programs that promote and preserve our Hellenic heritage for future generations across Canada. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to point out little surprises waiting for you at your table. Each of you has received 2 gift cards generously donated by Ashley Perry at Skin Improvement and our friends at Petros 82 and the David Duncan House. These cards are meant for you to enjoy a little self-care and a great meal. But just so you're aware, if those cards are left at the table at the end of this evening, Jim and I will gladly collect them and use them personally. And for those of you who know me, you know I have no problem doing just that. So please, let's not let them go to waste. Now, speaking of Petros 82 and the David Duncan House, I want to take a moment to acknowledge and thank Peter Iliopoulos. Peter chaired this gala for many years and set an incredibly high standard for Jim and I to follow this year's co-chairs. Peter, I know exactly where you are, right at the front. Thank you for your years of leadership, commitment, and unwavering dedication to the Hellenic Heritage Foundation and our community. Please join me in giving Peter a warm welcome.
Thank you, George. I'm glad he got the Greek part of the speech. I've got 3 people that I need to thank before we get started. The first is the Gala and the Silent Auction Committee. For the amount of work that this team put together since last November is incredible. Not only that, but the feedback they provided so that all of us here could have a special evening today. Thank you to all the members of the committee. Maria mentioned George Karaglitis, and I have to mention our good friend George again. George was instrumental in managing all the activities, the details, the meetings, the follow-ups, getting on everybody's case to make sure everything flowed smoothly tonight. And he does it, for those of you, and I think everybody here knows George, he does it with such grace. And he's got to deal with 2 guys here that were calling him every day. Did we sell the table? Did you contact this person? Did you do that? Never once did he get upset. Thank you, George. But not only that with George, just to finish off, his unwavering commitment to our culture is incredible. He worked so hard for the organization. He's done that for the past 15 years. 15 years more to go. George, we appreciate everything that you do, and we love working with you. Last but not least is the founders of the HHF. The momentum, the growth that we have as an organization today can be traced back to the founders 30 years ago. 30 years ago, a group of individuals, Greek entrepreneurs, Greek immigrants, hardworking Greek immigrants, wanted to make a difference in our community. What they wanted to do was to establish, preserve, promote, and advance our Hellenism through education, through language, through culture, and our heritage. They also wanted to establish an organization that was professional, that's why I joined, that was transparent, and most importantly, that was enduring. And 30 years later, we're here, and we're going to be here into the future. In addition, I just need to highlight, because a lot of people always ask me, you know, where the funds go that we raise. We're not going to do a lot of talking about that today, although it sounds like it, but I do want to highlight early on some of the successes that their vision and their philotimia had to our community that we kind of take for granted right now. Early on, they established the chair of Modern Greek Studies at York University, an endowed Hellenic Studies program at the University of Toronto. In addition to that, significant capital was given to organizations that we know. The Greek Community of Toronto, Betty, you're somewhere here. The Hellenic Homes, Aspitia, the Hellenic Hope Center, and the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese, just to name a few. So where do we stand today? Today, you'll see on the board here where some of our money goes, initiatives, where it goes. We'll put that up. There we go. This is just some of the initiatives. I don't want to talk about them. I encourage you to open up your books and just have a read. If you don't want to do that tonight, visit our website or just talk to any member of the board to find out a little bit more. One of the things I do want to highlight, History Committee, the podcast series. Maria talked about Greek school. I never paid attention at Greek school. Pay attention to these podcasts. They're fantastic. You'll learn a lot. And we just learned 2 days ago, for the second year, our History Committee and the podcast won Best Podcast with the Canadian Ethnic Media Association Awards. Well done, Sandra, as the chair and the History Committee. Final thoughts. Because of you, each and every one of you, the support that you've given us tonight, we've been able to accomplish these initiatives and a lot more. For not only the next generation, for the generations after that. So let's keep that in mind. On behalf of the board, the current board, which you'll see right now, a heartfelt thank you to everybody in this room. I want everybody to have a good evening tonight. That's my Greek. George, anything else?
Just a couple of things before we give the mic back to the MC, Maria. I have to say this, it's an ad-lib, but based on the trajectory of the weather this week, and even up to last night, and no offense please to the non-Greeks of the room, I don't mean it in any offensive way, I can confidently say that at least for tonight, God is a member of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. Thank you again, and we have a couple of messages from some special guests that we'd like to share with you right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for attending tonight's Hellenic Heritage Foundation Blue and White Gala, and I'd like to thank the Hellenic Heritage Foundation for preserving our heritage. Through art, we preserve the spirit of our people and the beauty of our traditions. The Hellenic Heritage Foundation's commitment to advancing the arts helps keep Greek culture vibrant, inspiring new generations to celebrate and share our heritage.
Friends, knowledge and culture are treasures that must be preserved and passed to future generations. The Hellenic Heritage Foundation helps safeguard the traditions, history, and values of Greece. Through its dedication, our heritage remains a living source of pride, wisdom, and inspiration. We thank them for their important work.
Our heritage connects us to our history, our families, and one another. The Hellenic Heritage Foundation plays a vital role in advancing Greek heritage throughout our community, and we are grateful for their dedication and leadership.
I want to say to all of the guests here tonight, especially to the Hellenic Heritage Foundation members and the board, who loves ya, baby?
Who would have thought that they'd be able to make some great videos in 2026, right? Thank you, George and Jim. And now I would like to welcome the HHF President, John Mavrianakis, to the stage for a very special announcement. Make some noise.
To be honest, I thought I was coming after, so this is surprising. So my name is John Mavrianakis. I am your president of the HHF. It's a big name. Many nations are defined by a flag, a person, or a passport. But to be Greek is to be something greater. Our identity was never identified by just a person or a place. What defines us and what we carry with us, our language, our memory, our value, are defined by a civilization that has survived for thousands of years through enlightenment, enslavement, expulsion, war, and natural disaster. Because we always made the conscious choice, as Greeks, to pass forward what it is to be Greek. And for us standing here today, distance and time do not erase that conscious choice, but they do test it. 3 decades ago, when a small group gathered, they asked a simple question: how do we keep who we are when we are so far from where we came from? And that is the question from which the Hellenic Heritage Foundation was born. Like our award recipients, and many of you in this room tonight, success and outcomes were built on your actions, your courage, your vision, and your generosity. To every founder, donor, volunteer, supporter, and person in this room tonight, and those who made it possible, thank you. You didn't just build a foundation, we have built a fortress for our culture. Looking around this room tonight, this is not just a gallery. This is the HHF's 30th anniversary party with 1,000 of our closest friends gathered because, as Greeks, we are too stubborn, too proud, and let's face it, frankly, too good to ever let our culture fade into memory. Together, we have endowed chairs at U of T in York. We have preserved our history through the Greek Canadian Archive and through our HHF podcast, which I will say again, are required listening for everyone in this room and your kids and their grandkids. We have funded the arts, sponsoring exhibits at the ROM, countless play and theater productions, and the Greek International Film Festival. Our next generation of 25 to 40-year-olds will be the next wave of leaders in this city. We have invested in training Greek school teachers and buying tens of thousands of Greek school textbooks to teach Maria o skilos le gavgav. That's all the Greek I know. And it's events like this tonight that raise funds, which a year ago allowed us to donate $500,000 to the Hellenic Home for the Aged. In support of their expansion, and who I ask you to please continue to support. That home, its guests, and its staff are special. Over the past 30 years, the past 3 decades, this community has entrusted almost $20 million to this foundation, an incredible amount, and we have honored that. We have kept every promise, every initiative delivered, and every commitment fulfilled. But as my wife tells me, on October 2nd every year, anniversaries are not only about what we've done, but they're also about what comes next. Yeah, she tells me a lot. Because the reality is simple. Every generation moves a little further from the language, a little further from the traditions, a little further from what it feels like to grow up Greek. Not suddenly, but steadily. Until one day, what we lived, sadly, can become what was remembered. And the question that follows is the same one that our founders tackled 30 years ago. How do we keep who we are when we are now moving further from where we came from? And instill and inherit in our children and in our grandchildren what it is to be Greek. An identity that can exist in words, can be viewed in social media, but can only be preserved in real human experiences, interactions, and relationships. And that is the challenge in front of us today, And that is the challenge we address tonight. And so tonight, it is my pleasure to launch the most significant initiative in our foundation's history, and one that we hope will be the most impactful. Tonight we launch Odyssey Greece, an endowed birthright program, absolutely. An endowed birthright program that will send Greek Canadian youth to Greece year after year for generations together, to experience being Greek together, and to continue our community, our pride, and our culture together.
Imagine a gift that stays with you, that challenges you, that leaves you changed long after it's over. A gift given freely with no expectations in return. And most importantly, a gift that becomes a part of you, because the most meaningful ones always are. The Hellenic Heritage Foundation is making it possible for young adults of Greek descent seeking to experience Greece, not as tourists, but as participants in a living legacy. Generations of journeys, countless moments of discovery, lifelong friendships forged where history, culture, and community come together. From walking the same ground as the ancient Greeks, where philosophy, democracy, and art took shape, to swimming in crystal clear seas, hiking mountain paths, and gathering around tables filled with food, stories, and traditions passed down for generations. Why do we do it? Because the journey isn't just about seeing Greece. It's about connecting to a culture, a history, and a set of values that help shape the world and who we are today. It's about exploring the bigger questions about identity, of belonging, of what it means to be part of a global Hellenic family. We can't give you the answers, but we can give you the experience, the tools, and the connection to your roots, so you can find those answers for yourself. This isn't just a trip. It's a journey of self-exploration, a legacy passed from one generation to the next. This is Odyssey Greece, a birthright initiative of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. And we can't wait to see where it takes you.
That's the first time I saw that video too. I purposely did not want to go see it before it happened. And it's good to be young. That's all I have to say. It's really not fair anymore, is it? It's not. You kids have no idea what we do for you. That's the reality. As I said, Odyssey Greece is the most important initiative in the history of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, and one of the most important in our community. An endowed birthright program that will send young Greek Canadians to Greece year after year for generations, not as tourists, not as visitors, but as Greeks meeting in the place that shaped their soul. Working with our operating partner from the National Hellenic Society in the US, we've already sent almost 100 kids on this birthright trip to test and validate the power of the program. The feedback has been more than incredible. A North American cohort of Greek youth, not bound by borders or governments, but by friendships and a common sense of who they are. A community of the future, built on the relationships and the bond of alinismos that will last a lifetime. Because something happens when a group of Greeks stand on the soil of history, immersed in the warmest and greatest culture in the world. It stops being distant, and it becomes personal. It becomes real. They understand where they came from in a way a classroom, Snapchat, or TikTok can never teach. In case anyone was wondering who's 20 to 24 and thinks social media is everything. They come back connected. They come back grounded. They come back certain of who they are, but equally certain of what they're being entrusted to pass forward. to their children. That's what Honesty Greece is about. To make sure what was given to us does not fade but strengthens, that being Greek is not only remembered, but lived. And now the ask, because you knew there would be an ask, because no one makes a video without an ask. The immediate goal for the HHF is to raise $3 million to endow the Odyssey Greece Birthright Program. This will sponsor approximately 30 Greek Canadian youth every year to travel to Greece far into the future. After that, our goal is to extend that to $10 million, to make this a truly national program and unite our Canadian Greek youth from coast to coast, one of the original visions and mandates of the HHF. So tonight, what we'd like to ask you to do is give lots, give a lot of times over and over. And everyone, please, have a wonderful evening and share in our 30th birthday party. And there are many founders here tonight. Thank them, because the courage to start this is what brings us all here, 1,000 people strong. Thank you.
The Hellenic Heritage Foundation champions the values that continue to be passed down to generations by those who have led the way for our success as a community in Canada for years. And this evening, we have the absolute honor in recognizing individuals who have made a profound and lasting impact on our community. And we do this through the Hellenic Heritage Foundation Recognition Awards. You see, these awards are more than just a title. They are the highest honor and a powerful tribute to the rich legacy of everyone who has walked the path before us. And since 2012, the HHF has shined the light on many exceptional leaders. Tonight we celebrate distinguished Canadians of Hellenic descent, as well as dedicated Philhellenes who have given their time, talent, and passion to elevate this community that we have here and outside of these walls. This evening, we're going to be presenting 3 awards. First, the Outstanding Achievement Under 40 Years of Age Award, and 2 of the HHF Lifetime Achievement Awards. At this time, I'd like to honor and award our first recipient for the Outstanding Achievement Under 40 Years of Age Award. She's an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a community leader. She has dedicated her career to empowering others by example, from founding Brows for the Brave to supporting healthcare and fundraising initiatives throughout the community. Her impact continues to inspire and uplift countless lives. She is Ashley Perry. Please take a look at the video board as we honor her in this award.
I think Ashley deserves this award and many more for her beautiful work, for her tremendous heart.
Ashley is kind, big heart, caring, loving, charismatic, funny. Can light up a room.
She doesn't worry about the what ifs. She doesn't worry about the challenges. She just pushes through, knowing that there is a light at the end of that tunnel. That is why she is where she is today. Skin Improvement started in the basement of our home when Ashley was 8.5 months pregnant with our middle child. One thing that she always pushed was taking chances. Ashley always thought about creating a culture of growth. She wanted that framework for her staff members to be able to grow and become business owners. And that's why she thought, let's start a franchise business. Giving back to the community is definitely at the forefront of Ashley's journey. She developed a program called Brows for the Brave, which is a program dedicated to giving free microblading services to those that have suffered from cancer or alopecia.
In 2015, I had finalized my cancer treatment. Definitely was a very dark time. It was beautiful to see myself again, and I cannot thank her enough for that. Ashley is the most incredible human being and businesswoman I have ever encountered in my life. I'm sorry if I get a little emotional. Beautiful heart, and I want the world to know that she deserves nothing but the best. She's always there to give whatever she can to make somebody's life so much better.
Ashley's brows for the braids stem from the fact that she lost her mom as a young teen girl. And I think she wanted to be able to honor her mother and be able to give back.
I know that her heritage, her Greek culture is definitely important to her because it's almost as if it's a bit of her mom kind of continuing that journey with her.
We're so honored to be your partners here in Toronto. We love and respect you and wish you all the best for this very deserving award. Keep shining, Ashley. We love you.
I can't thank you enough for everything you've done for myself and cancer survivors. I want to congratulate you on this wonderful award, and I think you deserve this and many more. And you are such an incredible person, and please don't ever change that beautiful heart of yours.
Ashley, the children and I are very proud of everything that you have achieved. Thank you for being a wonderful wife, an amazing businesswoman, and a person who thinks of their community. You are very deserving of this award. We love you.
I'm incredibly honored to receive this award. Thank you to my 3 beautiful children, Angelia, Mateo, and Anthony, my supportive husband, Jean-Paul, for both my late parents in heaven, my stepmother, Mary, my in-laws, and for all my family and friends who come along with me on this beautiful journey. Also, to my Skin Improvement family, my partners and clients, thank you for always sharing that vision with me. Our heritage is not only our past, it is the light that guides our future. Efaristo.
Everyone, please put your hands together and give a very warm welcome and congratulations to Ashley Perry and her beautiful 3 children. The Lifetime Achievement Award is not handed out lightly. This award recognizes someone whose life's work has shaped the very fabric of our community, preserved our rich heritage, and inspired the next generation to carry the torch forward. Their impact is measured not in just the years that they have given, but in the countless lives that they have touched and the profound legacy that they have built. Tonight we honor 2 remarkable individuals who truly embody the heart and soul of this distinction. Our first recipient is a lifelong advocate for women, children, and Greek culture. She has dedicated decades to strengthening the Greek Orthodox and broader Canadian community leadership in social services, women advocacy, education, and cultural preservation. She has empowered our community and has created a lasting impact for generations. I'd like for you to turn your attention to the video boards as we honor the Lucy Grigoriakis.
Lucy is one of a kind. She's giving, she's caring.
She is always happy, smiling.
Our family likes to call her the eagle.
She's a force of nature, that's for sure.
Lucy is a community builder. She has a passion for the well-being of others. That's sort of her life force.
She's a legend, basically.
My father passed away when she was, I would say, 55 or 56 years old, and she'd had a pretty predictable and kind of had a set life there. And then he died very suddenly, and her life took a very different turn. She became much more of a community person and really took her ideas on the road and created some really amazing things.
The running joke with Lucy is that she wears many hats because she's headed up 10, 12 different organizations over the years, right? Sometimes simultaneously. But really, her main contributions were three. Philoptochos, Friends of the Poor, you know, really helping out the social services programs that we have for our societies, and of course, Klironomia.
The Greek heritage is the central to who she is. It reflects in her values, family, culture, community, perseverance. Through her involvement in many things, fundraising events, food drives, clothing drives, dancing groups, or all the other communities or groups that she was involved. She helped strengthen and enrich the Greek community.
Her goal was always literally to make the lives of other people better. And I think that's an amazing thing.
I think one of the foundational concepts of Lucy is one of collaboration. It's one of support, that we just can't get through this unless we do it together. Mom, I would like to congratulate you on this honor. And I know I am joined by my brothers, Dimitri and Aggie, their families, my family, and your connected family around the world. We all support you. We're all so proud of you, and we thank you for all the work that you've done.
Lucy, has been a pleasure and a blessing to know you, to work with you. I wish you always to be surrounded by people that love you and the way that you deserve. And cheers to a beautiful lady.
On behalf of our community, our parish, I want to extend to you warmest congratulations on your numerous achievements, and especially today on you receiving the award from the HHF. God bless you.
Lucy, on behalf of myself, but also your girls, Dora, Debbie, and Stacy, the Klironomia crew, we congratulate you on this amazing, amazing achievement. You've done so much, and we love you very much.
From the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank the Hellenic Heritage Foundation for honoring me with this Lifetime Achievement Award for 2026. I want to thank everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to present the Hellenic Heritage Foundation Lifetime Achievement Award to Lucy Grigoriakis. HHF, as well as other important cultural institutions within our community. He is a pioneer in Canadian franchise law and has spent nearly 5 decades shaping the legal and business landscape of franchising in Canada. He has been intimately involved in not only the HHF, but the Hellenic Initiative Canada as a current co-president, the Hellenic Canadian Congress, and the Hellenic Canadian Lawyers Association, just to name a few. His leadership, mentorship, and dedication to the Hellenic community continues to be felt across the legal profession, business world, and the global Greek diaspora. Please turn your attention to the video screens as we honor the John Sotos.
There's a calmness about John, very straightforward nature, and but very respectful to everybody that he deals with.
He looks very serious and unapproachable from the outside, but when you get to know him, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He is an amazing individual that cares deeply about anything Hellenic. And he has played a really key role in our Greek community for the past 40-45 years.
John and I have known each other for about 35 years because we're both actively involved in the franchise law space as lawyers. And we met as colleagues at different conferences, but we also had files against each other. So several files were actually adversaries. But the interesting thing about those experiences was that we solved problems collaboratively. If you take the attributes that you'd want to see in a lawyer, he really exhibits so many of them. He's a thought leader. He understands this area of law so much so that we call him a dean of the franchise law bar, and he's been so for a very long time.
We met back in the mid-80s. He was very instrumental in organizing something that is known as the Hellenic Canadian Congress. In the mid-90s, he and a few other people thought it was time to organize a completely different organization that will try to help the Greek community, try to help the Hellenic home, try to help the Archdiocese, and that was the formation of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. That was the early days, and he was very instrumental in his lawyerly way to be part of really building something that will transcend the test of time. And he then proceeded to be part of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation, the executive. He became the president of the Hellenic Heritage Foundation. He was a very generous contributor, not only with his time, but also financially.
He's a very caring individual. It permeates through to how he's looked at his relationship with the Greek community and the people that he services as clients. You can tell he's a very thoughtful individual, very selfless individual, and you just see that in every aspect of his professional and personal life.
John, congratulations on this very deserving award, the Life Achievement Award. You have done so much for our Hellenic community here in Canada, and also through THI, you have reached many, many lives back home in Greece. For that, on behalf of everyone, we thank you.
John, personally and on behalf of the firm, I want to express our sincere congratulations to you on this tremendous accomplishment from the HHF, which I know you've dedicated so much of your time to over the years. And I just want to let everybody know that what you're seeing in the glimpse of these few minutes of presentation for John, we at the firm have been so grateful to be able to experience with John every single day, in my case, for over 20 years, admiring his achievements and accomplishments.
I want to thank the committee and the board for this incredible recognition. The Hellenic Heritage Foundation is one of my babies, together with a dozen others that helped found it 30 plus years ago. I want to thank all of the colleagues, the board members, past presidents, and most importantly the supporters who have helped make this dream come true.
Greeks really do it all, don't they? I think so, right? And it feels like there isn't a single corner of the world or history that hasn't been left with a Greek mark on. We're innovative, inspiring, I would say incredible cooks for the most part, legendary partiers. And you know what else? Greeks are kind of funny. I think we're pretty funny. Now speaking of funny, Angelo Tsaroukas is here. And he is an internationally acclaimed stand-up comedian, podcaster, and actor. He is currently on his Diaspora World Tour and just wrapped up sold-out shows in Greece and Australia. He's also going to be taking his extremely funny and adapted show to the UK, Europe, and all across the United States, and we'll be bringing Diaspora home to Canada on an 8-city tour this fall. Angelo's latest social media videos have millions of views by fans absolutely everywhere. You've seen his face pop up on numerous movies, television shows, and he's appeared in many cult favorite shows and movies. You've seen him on Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Showtime, NBC, CTV, CBC, and the list goes on. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's get ready for some laughs and make some noise for Angelo Tsaroukas!
Thank you. How about a nice round of applause for Maria Papadakis? What a gem. Look at this HHF Blue-White Gala in Toronto. Wow. Give yourselves a round of applause for this night. So honored to be here. George Keroglidis is a good friend of mine. He works really hard here. I'm glad to see him back in men's clothing. That's good. All the people here, Peter and Dino, for the hall here at Universal Space. And I gotta tell you guys, I flew up yesterday from Los Angeles. And as I'm getting off the airplane in Pearson, this woman is staring at me. Just staring at me. She goes, "I know you." I go, I don't know, do you watch social media? She goes, "No." Do you television? Maybe. She goes, "Oh, I know who you are. You're Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario." Shut up, you're all looking at me now going, "You look like him." I don't look like him. Now I'm Doug Ford, the Premier of Ontario, and I'm always, Toronto's always been in my heart. I lived here for 10 years. And as you know, I'm from Montreal. I grew up in Ottawa, the city that fun forgot. Ottawa. If you have a terminal illness and only 6 months to live, move to Ottawa. It'll be the longest 6 months you ever lived. Right? And we're talking about, and the president was talking about school. And you know what's funny, growing up in Ontario, I don't know about you guys, but I took grade 10 subsidized conversational Ontario school French.
Now you're looking at me going, why did you take grade 10 subsidized conversational Ontario school French? Because I was single and I think I could meet some Greek, some nice French girls. So I'm at a cool bar in Montreal, and I see La Femme Fatale at the bar. And I'm like, Angelo, you have grade 10 subsidized conversational Ontario school French. Make your move. So I slithered in like an anaconda through the rainforest. No, I was like a bull in a china shop. I went up to her, I looked at her right in the eyes, and I looked at her and said, Bonjour, mademoiselle, comment ça va? And she replied, she went, oh, ça va bien, merci. Je suis, tu es, il est, on est, nous sommes, vous sommes, ils sont, elles sont. She thought I was special needs. But hey, I got lucky, it's Montreal, right? It happened. And I went to, it's funny, and I think you guys were talking about Greek school. And we all went to Greek school. I had Kira Olga, was my Greek teacher, right? And it's so funny. Now here's the deal. Our parents, and it's indicative of this thing, our parents wanted us to go to Greek school so we can learn Greek, to go to Greece and talk to our cousins in Greek. Here's the news flash. They're all talking English in Greece, right? And what, do you remember Greek school? Do lemoni. Do kalo lemoni. O totos egi do lemoni. What do I care if Toto has a lemoni? And then you go to Greece and you talk to them in Greek, they think there's something wrong with us. I go, yasa, ti kanate pame, meta, volta, fame. And they're like, kati egi to bidi. There's something wrong with them. There's a lot going on. I got back in time. I got my grocery card from the Prime Minister. I got it. I went to Loblaws. I got 4 things. Really good. And then now here's the deal. Canada and America are at war, right? That's what's going on now. A lot of my Canadian friends won't visit me. We're not going to the States. And and I get it, trust me. But I think our Prime Minister should tell Trump, forget about the 51st state. Canada will never be a 51st state. Never. Clap that out, yes, never. But let's make a trade. Quebec for Florida, straight up. Right? That's right. But hey, we keep the poutine. We love poutine. We can have the rest of it. So it's a shame because I know Maria's working the World Cup. We got the World Cup coming to Toronto. And my dream, when I first heard it, I wanted to see an Italy-Greece World Cup game in Toronto. Wouldn't that be special? But instead, the Italians and the Greeks are going to be making espressos and gyros for the people visiting the World Cup in Toronto. Well, I think it's great. But you got to understand, guys, I live in America. You don't know anything about Canada. My friend called me today. He goes to me, hey, where are you? Toronto. Oh, you're in Toronto. It's Toronto. Yeah. Are you doing a show there? Yeah. I have friends in Vancouver. Okay. I'll tell them to come and see your show. Sure. Tell them to take the Trans-Canada Highway 1 East. You'll pass Yellowknife and Halifax. Toronto's right there. He calls me back an hour later. You're a moron, you know that? I call my friends in Vancouver. They couldn't stop laughing. I go, Vancouver's 5 days away by car. What's wrong with you guys? Get them. You can Google, right? You can Google it. They don't understand. They don't understand our country. They still don't. And I have a friend of mine who hounds me. He goes, come on, what's politics like in Canada? I said, we're not like you guys. I think we're more, well, explain to me politics in Canada. Okay, here's politics in Canada. It's like hockey. Vancouver hates Edmonton. Edmonton hates Calgary. Calgary hates Winnipeg. Winnipeg hates Toronto. Toronto hates Ottawa. Ottawa hates Montreal. Montreal hates Canada. Okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, exactly. It makes sense. And I see a lot of people, so the service here is awesome tonight. Do you agree? You're on it tonight. I'm on the road a lot, so when I go home, I have one daughter, and I always ask my daughter, what do you want to do? Last time I was home, my daughter said, Dad, let's go to Burger King. There's something I want. Okay, my daughter wants Burger King. Went to Burger King. Now, guys, listen. The order was $17.03. I gave the guy $20.03. And you can see the sparks coming out of his head. He didn't know how to give me the change. And he panicked and he handed me back $83. So I look at my daughter and I said, you see what happened? She goes, yeah, Dad, he gave me too much change. Okay, we're gonna fix it so he doesn't get in trouble. So what happens? I said to the guy, I think you made a mistake. No. You made a mistake. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You want me to get the manager? Get the manager. He gets Tim, the manager. Tim comes over. I go, Tim, it was $17.03. I gave him $20.03. He gave me back $83. This is Tim. Tim looks, he goes, well, everything's good on our end. What? It's good. And here's my daughter. My daughter, take the money. Papa, take the money. They're dumb. So I took the money. We got to the parking lot. We got in the car. My daughter closes the door. She turns to me. She goes, half of that is mine, right, Dad? So I pulled the job with my kid. I'm not saying I'd do it again. We'll go to Arby's next week. It's my face. You know when you go to the store and you get into it? It's me. I go to a bagel shop in LA. Bagels, man. What? A bagel. Cut, toast, smeared, goodbye. We've been doing it for years. I walk in this bagel shop. Me and the guy, no one else, early in the morning. Give me an everything bagel cream cheese. The guy goes, you have to take a number. There's nobody here. You take a number when there's people here. If you don't take the number, I can't serve you. Are you being serious? Yes. I go to that ticket thing, you know, the ticket thing. I hand him the number. This is what he does. And 54, it's me. There's no 53 or 55, Lockout. What's wrong with you? What can I get you? I just told you like 10 seconds ago. So he makes the bagel. Then he says to me, can I give you the customer survey card? Today, yes, I welcome it. So I took the customer survey card, I ate the bagel, and then I wrote on the customer survey card, dear bagel people, the guy working behind the counter is a moron. There was no one in the store and he made me take a number. Then he pressed the buzzer and said 54. I highly recommend you make him Bagel Employee of the Year. And I go back, I'm gonna hand it to him because you put it in the box. No, I want him to read it. Here, you do it. So he takes it, he's reading it, and I'm watching eye contact. And he's reading it and he goes, hey, that's not nice. What? What you said about me, that's not nice. Can we talk about it? I said, sure, take a number. How about that? Take a number, right? Number. I'm trying to teach my daughter to speak Greek. We're at a restaurant. We came out, the valet guy was there. The valet guy looks at my daughter and he goes, quick. He goes, give me an animal that starts with the letter O. And my daughter goes, ostrich. Then he says to her, give me a fruit that starts with the letter O. And my daughter says, olive. He goes, yes. And I'm like, no, olive's not a fruit. Olive's a vegetable. We just had it in salads. I didn't say nothing, right? Fruit with O. Driving home, it occurred to me, orange. slow. We get home. I told my daughter on the way home, honey, I'm gonna teach you a word. That guy's a vlaka. What's a vlaka, Dad? Like a moron, idiot. Olive's not a fruit, it's in salads, it's a vegetable. Okay, Dad, he's a vlaka. We get home, my daughter gets on her iPad, types in the word olive on Google. She comes over to me, she goes, Daddy, I Googled olive and it said olive has a ped and grows on trees and is part of the fruit family, thus making olives a fruit. Olives a fruit. I go, wow, I didn't know that. And she looks at me and she goes, who's the vlaka now, Dad? I go, your dad's the vlaka. That's what he is. But it's, you know, it's interesting to me because they always, you gotta understand, and this is the perfect night, Greek Heritage Night. They still do it. Even like the name Tsarouchas. Now I know my name's T-S-C-H, Tsarouchas. My actual name on my birth certificate, when I was born in Quebec, is Evangelos Charos, which translated is Angel of Death. Evangelos Charos, right? Angel of Death. No, it's Charos, they try to shorten it. Tsarouchas they can't pronounce. They added another letter in my last name at the airport in Chicago. There's a gate change. This is how they announce my name over the PA system. Like, United Airlines passenger Tsartachas. Angelo Tsartachas, United Airlines counter Tsartachas. It's Tsarouchas, I didn't touch anybody. I'm walking there like I didn't touch anybody. This is good. Go look at people. Who's going to Greece this year? Who's going to Greece? Bravo. Gotta go to Greece, because you know, summer ends on Monday here, you know. I'm happy I was here for summer. So I think the theme tonight, it's funny how last night we were at Petros 82, and we started talking. Greeks were very loud presence, but very tight-knit community. And it's so funny, I was sitting with Peter Apostolopoulos, and his mom is from a village 1 kilometer from where my dad's from. And they're all from Peloponnese, right? They're all there, a lot of us. My dad's from a place called Daphne, and then there's Serocapi, Trapezaki, Skura, Lefetsova, Croquet, Scala. Like, I know them all because there was nowhere else to go. So you go there. So, I took a trip to Greece a few years ago. I had a Fia that lived in Rhodos. You ever been to Rhodos? What a beautiful place. If you guys ever get a chance to go to Rhodos, go. It's honestly beautiful. And I had GPS. The GPS works differently in Greece, doesn't it? You type in a name in Greece, I want to go to a place called Petaloudes. Petaloudes is a butterfly sanctuary park in Rhodos. Touch the trees and the butterflies go flying around. He goes, okay, I put it in. It took us the wrong way. We went from the Borafia, from the fields. And my daughter goes, Dad, I think we're lost. Yeah, okay, thank you. I know, we're lost. Coming out, there's 2 old Greek guys there. So I pulled up to ask for directions. And the guy looks at me and goes, GPS? GPS, yeah, Acristo. It's useless. I go, how do we get to Petaloudes? He goes, you're going to go out left or right, Dexalis, you're going to get there. Okay, thanks. Then here's my accent. He goes to me, where are you from? Well, I'm living in Los Angeles. Do you know Nico? So what am I going to say to the old guy? Yeah, I know Nico. When you see Nico, tell him his Uncle Pateli misses him, and tell him to call me. Okay, Bob, I'll tell him. 10 months later, I'm hosting something at the Los Angeles Greek Film Festival. After the show, guy comes up to me, hey Angelo, I'm a big fan. I go, hey, thanks. I go, what's your name? He said Nico, which is common. Hi, Nico. I heard his accent. I go, Nico, where are you from? Rhodos. know what the next question is. I go, Nico, what part of Rodos are you from? I'm from a little place called Petaludes. Do you have an Uncle Padeli? Yeah. It's my mom's brother. He told me to tell you to give him a call. I met Theo Padeli. So he goes, hey, I got him a phone, let's FaceTime him. So he calls Padeli in Rodos. He goes, Theo, I met somebody you met last year in Greece. He goes, who? Angelo. Angelo. Yeah. The fat guy that got lost? He goes, hey, I remember him. Tell him I say hi. I met Nico 10,000 miles away from his uncle. And that's what this night does here tonight. And I like what the president said earlier, brings together. We're all connected here now. And I'm lucky I get to travel. I get to go to different places. And there's different names. Greeks have the weirdest names, don't they? I had a friend in Montreal. His name was Xenophon Kokoromitis. Translated, it's strange noise, rooster nose. And he goes, what? He doesn't. I go, your name is strange noise, rooster nose. Xenophon Kokoromitis. I just did shows in Australia. A guy comes up, guys, I'm not even making this up. The guy comes up to me and goes, hey, I'm a big fan. Can we take a picture? Took a picture. And I go to him, what's your name? His first name was Panos. And his last name was Kekatos. Panos Kekatos. Your name is up and down? Yeah. Just like your parents made you, up and down. Panos Kekatos. What the hell is that? But am I right? If you really look at Greek names, they're funny. But you gotta look at them sometimes. There's a lot of doozies in Toronto too, I know that. So, tonight's great. I see my good friend Father Ted is here, who I've known for years in His Eminence. And you know, Greeks, whenever the clergy are here, they get nervous. Especially if you're a comedian, they're like, don't be nice. Don't say anything stupid, okay? Because we won't make something stupid. Greeks were very, I gotta say something nice. So I tell you a story about Father Ted. Guy goes into his church here in Toronto, holding a dog that's passed away. He goes to Father Ted, my dog passed away, and I was hoping maybe you could do a service and bury him. And Father Ted, being compassionate, said, my friend, I appreciate the fact you lost your pet, but at the Greek church, we don't really do a funeral service for dogs. And the man looks at Father Ted and says, that's too bad, Father, because whoever was going to do the service, I was going to donate $100,000. And Father Ted says, whoa, wait a second. You didn't tell me the dog was Greek Orthodox. You guys have a wonderful event. It's my pleasure, Toronto. I'm going to be at the Royal Theatre November 7th downtown. So people ask me, number 7, I'm going to give it back to Maria Papadakis. What a gem. My friend George.
Yes.
So we got Maria?
Yeah.
She's great.
Come on. Let's give it one more time for Angelo Tarukas. That was so funny. My dog is also Greek Orthodox. You keep telling my I'm going to baptize him, but she keeps shaking her head every time.
Φίλοι της GrecaTV, τι να πω. Ο Άντζελο Τσαρουχάς τιμάει το όνομα της Ελλάδας απ' άκρη σ' άκρη, σε όλο το κόσμο. Το γνωρίζουν όλοι, αλλά το πιο σπουδαίο είναι τον αγαπάνε όλοι. Και μέσα από την κωμωδία του βλέπει κανείς τις αλήθειες της ζωής. Αυτά που λέει είναι όλα φιλοσοφημένα και είναι πολύ χαρά για μας στη GrecaTV να τον φιλοξενούμε.
Και εγώ χάρηκα πάρα πολύ. Μου αρέσει πάρα πολύ το GrecaTV, not GrecaTV for Greeks everywhere. Αυτό μου αρέσει αυτό που το έκανες αυτό. Οι Έλληνες παντού. Παντού έτσι είναι. Ευχαριστώ για τα ωραία λόγια που μου είπες.
Είμαι περήφανος να πω πως είμαι Έλληνο-Καναδό-Αμερικανός, αλλά πρώτα Έλληνες. Και το γέλιο το χρειαζόμαστε. Και τώρα οικονομικά, οικογενειακά και όλα αυτά. Με υγεία, άμα γελάει ο κόσμος, εγώ νομίζω ζουν πάρα πολύ.
Έτσι, το γέλιο φέρνει...
Φέρνει έτσι, τα βγάζεις όλα στο έξω.
Angelo, how do you feel when you travel throughout the world and you see Greeks
It's nice.
getting together and, as you said,
it's nice.
Something that unites us, right?
It unites us. Like, I think I'm lucky through comedy, I got to meet Greeks all over the world. And I think the one, we have the common thread, you know? Yeah. We all grew up the same way.
Yes.
So I think whether it's Toronto, Melbourne, whether it's Athena, whether it's, Vancouver, I think they all understand that we all τα περάσαμε τα ίδια. Mama would throw things at us, Baba would yell at us, yeah, we always complain, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we're Greeks. So I think that's where people connect.
And don't forget that Aristophanes, from the ancient times,
that's right.
Taught us the beauty of comedy and how truth comes out of comedy.
Aristophanes. Comedy is tragedy plus time.
Plus time.
Bravo.
That's what it is.
Very smart man. GrecaTV, man. GrecaTV. Χάρηκα πάρα πολύ.
Και εγώ.
Και αυτό που κάνεις, και εσύ προτιμάς τους Έλληνες και σε ευχαριστώ γι' αυτό.
Thank you.
Thank you.
στο καλά σας. Εύχομαι υγεία σε όλους σας, στον καθένα ξεχωριστά και πάντα επιτυχία σε ό,τι και αν κάνετε. Ευχαριστώ τον Πρόεδρο και το Συμβούλιο. Καλή σταδιοδρομία στην κοινότητα και εύχομαι μέσα από την καρδιά μου να πετυχαίνει κάθε στόχο τους. Πάμε να περάσουμε όμορφα! Αλλά ελληνικά, δώστε μας το δικό σας χειροκρότημα! Κοιτάζω μες στα μάτια, εγώ μπορώ, εσύ μπορείς. Και σε με έβοξε με κομμάτια, ξέχνα εγώ, ούτε να το σκεφτείς. Ούτε να το σκεφτείς. Σιγά τι είναι ο χωρισμός, 7-7 ξενύχτη. Στις 2 πρώτες μέρες νύχτες κάπνο σου ίσκει. Τρίτη και την Τετάρτη βγαίνουν τα αποθυμένα. Φωτογραφίες στα διαγραμμένα. Δεν έχει άλλο δάκρυα. Στην νύχτα έχουν περάσει. Στην έβδομη το χωρισμό τον έχω ξεπεράσει. Θα διαφορήσω όταν γυρίσεις πίσω. Δεν θα λυγίσω. Κάνε ό,τι θέλεις να ξέρεις. Δε όποια άλλη θέλεις αν θέλεις. Εξάλλου μόνο εγώ, μόνο εγώ, μόνο εγώ, μόνο εγώ, μόνο. Χαίρεσαι την καινούργια σου αγάπη, να την χαίρεσαι και να με κερνάς φαρμάκι, να την χαίρεσαι όμως μακριά από μένα, γιατί αγάπη μου στα έχω ξανά υπομένα. Αν ποτέ σε δω αγκαλιά με κινητικά μου θα πω τρελαθώ και θα πιω μέχρι τη θανάτου. Αν ποτέ σε δω αγκαλιά με κινητικά μου θα πω τρελαθώ και θα πιω μέχρι τη θανάτου. Για πάμε λίγο σιγά σιγά να ζεσθενόμαστε.
GrecaTV is the television of the Greek diaspora, a place where news, music, interviews, and cultural shows keep our Hellenic spirit alive across Canada and the world.
Founded by Bill Fatsis, a retired justice, politician, and community journalist, GrecaTV is his lifelong dream to preserve Greek language, faith, and heritage for future generations. And it's completely free, anytime, anywhere.
Bill invites you all to join him. Watch GrecaTV, celebrate your culture, and support his vision by watching and advertising with GrecaTV.